Hi, everybody. Merry Christmas. It's Christmas Eve in 2020. And knowing that there's still a week to go in 2020 is fingers crossed that this last week of 2020 might be the best week of 2020 for many of us. So I'm not usually in front of the camera, let alone live in front of a camera. I normally prefer to be in front of a camera when I've done my hair and my makeup and dressed up nicely, not wearing a Dunder Mifflin t-shirt that should really go in the garbage because it's getting old and gross. But but here we are. I'm going to use 2020 as the excuse. But the reason I'm here is I wanted to address an incident that happened a little earlier today that's really been weighing on my mind because it's a really unfortunate comedy of errors, and there's really nothing funny about any of what happened. So, if you didn't know, a lot of photographers and small business people use CRM software that handles a lot of your bookkeeping and your accounting for you, because not everybody is just blessed with the innate understanding of numbers and how things work. And it just sort of streamlines everything. And one of the things that my accounting system does is when I start working with a client and they are going to be purchasing a session from me, I put them into my system and it generates a contract and an invoice for them. And it asks for a due date with the invoice. And if it doesn't receive a payment in the system by that due date, it automatically generates a reminder. Because life happens, people forget, or other things happen. It doesn't really matter. Well, this happened recently with a client I've been chatting with who was going to pay the other day. However, unfortunately, this client has been taken ill. I chatted with her on the phone yesterday, and she did not sound great, and I felt really bad for having just called, and I tried to snooze the reminders within the system. For whatever reason, gremlins in the system, the snooze button didn't work, and today it generated another appointment invoice reminder for the client, to which I got a rather annoyed sounding, and rightly so, an annoyed sounding email from the client saying, Andrea, you know I'm sick and I'm in the hospital. Could you please give me a break? I am so sorry for this client that this happened. I sent a response to her right away explaining that it's just an automatically generated response from the system. But still, like I feel awful that that this happened, and that I have added some stress to her life, which, I mean, if she's in the hospital, obviously, like, there's some concern for her. And I'm sure the first thing that goes through everybody's head is, oh gosh, hopefully it's not COVID-19. Um, Life has been hard enough for the last year and some for myself. Until recently, I was still saying that 2019 was actually harder for me than 2020. So, and I haven't necessarily been posting about this publicly, other than on my personal Facebook page, just so that my loved ones who are not necessarily near can know what's going on. But in the last year and a half or so, just to give the lightning round of what's been up, in March of 2019, my dad went into the hospital with bladder infection, but it was really bad. He was in the hospital for a couple weeks. And we were getting to the point where we discovered that he had Parkinson's and that mentally he was starting to slip. In May of 2019, we had to put our pug, my dad's pug, Abby, down, which of course was really, really sad. In November of 2019, I lost my dad. He had an accident and died from complications due to that. In January of this year, my mom fell down the stairs and fractured one of her vertebrae, which we didn't learn until more recently because she was still able to move around, and they didn't catch it in the X-rays. In March, of course, as everybody knows, lockdown started, and that has produced a whole lot of anxiety and issues for so many people for so many different reasons. In July, I had to put my dog Buster down, which just seemed unfathomable that with everything else that had been happening, that I was also gonna have to put my best friend down. But again, 2020. And then, in November, we learned that my mom has lung cancer. She has a 3 centimeter adenocarcinoma in the upper lobe of her right lung. So, yeah, 2020 is now officially worse than 2019 for me. And on top of it, the chemotherapy doctor and the surgeon have said that they don't think that she would withstand those treatments. So we are in the midst of trying to navigate, finding out if she's actually healthy enough to have radiation. So I wouldn't wish any of this on my worst enemy because, God damn it, it's been a really hard year. And so just the idea that, like, there could be a potential client out there who thinks that I just see them as a potential paycheck was really upsetting to me, obviously. Although I feel like I've been crying for most of this year, so so this isn't much. But I just wanted to say something about it because, again, I feel awful, and I really do hope that this client gets better. So, yeah, sorry to be a Debbie Downer, but I wanted to say something and just put it out there that I really, truly hope that everybody has a better 2021 than 2020 was, because God knows that collectively as human beings, we need a break. I really hope that everybody in the next few days manages to, even if it's just virtually, manages to talk and visit with some people you care about, whether it's family or chosen family, and that you're able to just do something that makes you happy, because life is hard enough as it is. So a tearful Merry Christmas to you, and let's all keep our fingers crossed that things are going to get better for all of us in the next little while. Take care of yourself and take care of each other.